good, the bad, and the odd. They're sorted.
Welcome to this episode of The Good, the Bad, and the Odd with your hosts, Mark and Sam. Hi, Sam.
Hello there.
Right, so this is your choice. Do you want to tell everyone what you picked?
So kind of following on from our recent Disney, I just kind of wanted to watch the Sleepy Hollow film again, so that's what I picked. The Tim Burton 99 adaptation
Yeah,
of the Washington Irving book.
yeah, good choice.
Mm,
I was in the mood too after Ichabod and Mr. Toad.
yeah.
Yeah, good choice. I was saying to you before we were watching, I think this might be my favourite Tim Burton film outside Batman and Batman Returns. But I've looked through the list, that isn't true.
Mm,
um,
okay.
I would put Pee Wee's Big Adventure and probably Beetlejuice above it. What about you? Where do you put it in the pantheon?
Yeah, I'd kind of rank this the highest.
This one.
While I like Batman, it's not really spectacularly having like read a lot more Batman since
Yeah.
initially watching it. Like the Batman film, while good, isn't very Batman-y. Um,
Yeah, no, when it came out, people were going, "Oh, it's dark and gothic." It isn't. It's it's not that
it's super camp. It's basically
kind of
just
camp. It's not as
the
camp as it
60s show.
became,
It's
but
the
yeah,
60s show with a dark filter put on.
yeah.
Yeah.
So you
Uh,
put this above Beetlejuice, would you? And Peter,
Oh yeah,
yeah,
that's the bit where I'd sort of stumble a bit there. It's like Beetlejuice I do enjoy more, but I think this is just it's a really good film, this one.
yeah, and we both kind of like Beetlejuice, didn't we, as well?
Yeah.
Though that was definitely
That's
pretty.
more of a to people's tastes sort of.
Yeah. It was definitely a film of two halves in that it got way better in the second half. I've
Yeah.
always been a big fan of Pee Wee's Big Adventure, though. That is
Mm.
amazing. I'm also quite a fan of Sweeney Todd.
Mm.
I really like that one. Any other movies you particularly like of his?
Of his
Ed
well,
Wood, maybe,
Mars
or Mars
Attacks,
Attacks?
I've not seen Ed Wood.
Okay.
I do enjoy the ones he's produced as well, or like the ones everyone assumes are his.
Yeah.
Like Nightmare Before Christmas.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's pretty good. That's pretty good. I think the common consensus is his best movie is probably Ed Wood, and it
mm,
is a very good movie. But I just prefer about five other films before it. So yeah. He definitely something happened after Sleepy Hollow. He made
mm,
Planet of the Apes, and he was making films, things like that. I mean, cool. Bride's meant to be good. I haven't seen it. It's meant to be quite good.
mm,
And Sweeney Todd was definitely a return to form, but after that, it was all a bit CG and
yeah.
Frankenweenie was all right as well.
And then he started saying some really weird stuff. So yeah.
Oh, I don't know anything about that. Okay, well, we
I'll
won't.
tell you about it afterwards.
Okay, we won't go to that. Anyway, Sleepy Hollow, 1999 seems appropriate. You know, disasters and the end of a millennium and all that.
Yeah.
It's kind of a good fit. What was your? Let's do non-spoiler thoughts first. I mean, it's 27 years old,
Yeah, it's
so
27 years old.
we
It's
will
kind of difficult to spoil.
yeah,
That said,
and it's a well-known
it's
story.
it yeah, that said, it's not really an adaptation of that story as
No, it's his own
such.
thing. It is his
It's
own
fully
thing.
its own thing.
Yeah,
So if you've read the story, you will still be surprised about what happens.
yeah.
Um,
So, what's your general? So, you really like this one?
yeah, I
We
really
both
enjoyed it.
kind of said
Yeah.
that, right?
Uh,
I also really enjoyed rewatching straight up very soon after Ichabod Mistake because of the referencing. There was some
mm,
direct referencing. One where like a frog is riveting Ichabod, for example. That's from the
yeah.
Disney. But there was a few others. There's definitely a few others. Um, so it's kind of also based on Legend Washington's
Loosely based on
loosely.
yeah.
I really like Johnny Depp in this. I think he's really good as Ichabod Crane. He's kind of nervy and keeps fainting and stuff
Mm,
like that. And the cast is really solid. Um, Pretty much a lot of British actors, isn't there? Lots of British actors.
yeah. Good.
Miranda
Surprisingly plentiful.
Richardson, Michael Gambon, Michael Gough, um, Ian McDiarmid,
Yeah.
um,
Richard Griffiths.
Richard Griffiths.
Mhm.
Yeah, so and they've all kind of got English accents. So Johnny Depp
Yeah.
and Christina Ricci are affecting English accents. I guess but when's it based? It's like
It's
17
17 something.
1790, something like that. Or
Yeah, they
97.
talk about the turn of the century coming out.
Yes.
So,
Yeah. So Sleepy Hollow's north of New York, in a sort of quiet little
mm,
village. And the main sort of leads are Ichabod Crane and Katrina
yeah.
Van Tassel, played by
Mm,
Christina Ricci.
mm.
Um, so yeah, uh, and it's kind of a murder mystery, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
murder mysteries unraveling into a much bigger conspiracy sort of thing.
Yeah. Okay, we'll get into spoilers. We'll get into
Yeah,
spoilers. Apparently, the original script was intended to be a low budget thing and more of a horror, more of a slasher kind of film,
I can
which you
kind
can
of
kind of
see that.
see the roots
Yeah.
in that. Burton was then hired. So this isn't something he cultivated. He was hired and then molded it to be his own. And it is his own. It's clearly a Tim Burton film, isn't it? You can kind
Mm,
of say.
yeah.
Whereas, say, Planet of the Apes, the film after this, not so much.
No,
Not so much.
no,
So
definitely.
yeah. It's
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
So we open with in New York, a a dead body has been found in the river, one of the rivers, and Ichabod has discovered it, and it very quickly gets whisked away, and they're like, just burn it. There's
yeah,
nothing further we need to do. He drowned, and
yeah.
Ichabod's insistent
Ichabod.
that
He wants to
something happened.
do some sort of latest scientific techniques on it and all this, but
Mm,
um, yeah, the main god
yeah,
is
they're
found him
not
in
at
the
all
river.
interested.
Yeah.
So so
Yes.
they while he's kind of getting a dressing down, really, being told to stop stop like chasing these fanciful notions of like further investigation.
Yeah.
On that note, we've got an investigation for you, and
Yeah.
they send him upriver to the little town of Sleepy
Sleepy Hollow.
Hollow,
Just a quick
where there has
mention. He
been
has to go before what looks like a judge, but it's titled the Burgomaster,
yeah
who is
Christopher
I
Lee.
Christopher Lee, which kind of is an indication that this is basically Depp's nod to Hammer.
Yeah,
Pretty much this film, and great, that's great. But it's good to see Christopher Lee looking pretty good, actually. Must be said, because
mm.
this was before he went into the Star Wars prequels, wasn't it? I think
Yes, yeah,
because
it would have
Attack
been
of the Clones
before
came out
Attack of the
after this,
Clones.
right?
Yeah,
Um, so old he goes to Sleepy Hollow and he
yeah.
meets some of the town elders, but
We
murders
get a
have
bit of a
been happening.
surreal credit sequence where the
Oh
words
yeah,
appear at
it's
the end,
really
but they're
cool while he's
reflected
traveling.
in things, and like they just kind of letters kind of drift away,
Like leaves falling off
fade
a
in.
tree.
Yeah.
Yes, it was really cool. I really liked it. They
Mm.
paid a lot of attention. This film did win an Oscar for best art direction.
Okay. Yeah, it kind of
So
deserves that.
yeah,
So.
there's a lot of care taken with how it looks and things like the credits, but also the sort of mise en scène and the setup,
Mm.
the framing, and everything. It looks really good. It's got a specific filter, hasn't it? So it's got a more of a black and
Yes.
white look.
Yeah,
It's kind of washed
it's
out,
super washed out. It is very much almost black and white in its
except
entirety,
when
except
Bloods,
red and purple
yeah,
show up.
and the Hessian's blue eyes as well.
Yeah,
Um, Now the Hessian
we'll
is the
get to the
horseman.
Hessian.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
Hessian, just to make everything. The Hessian is the headless horseman. They call him the
yeah,
Hessian, um,
yeah.
who was a mercenary, Hessian
Back in
mercenary
the
back in
Revolution
the
era,
war. So yeah,
I think.
20 years before, right? So
Yeah, something like that.
um,
But
the 1776 was when the revolution succeeded. So it
yeah,
must have been just
but
before.
while other people were there for money, he was there for simply the carnage of it.
Yes.
So,
Yeah. Yeah. We'll get back to the
yeah.
Hessian. So he's meeting the town folk.
He
And we
meets the
got,
town elders
yeah,
because he rocks up in the middle of a party at the Van Tassel house.
yeah. And old Katrina
Katrina
has got a
plants a kiss on
blindfold
his
on and she's trying
yeah
to go someone who she's going to kiss. And she grabs
yeah
him and gives him a kiss on his cheek.
yeah, and then
Uh, another Bowenhurst
Fiance?
Brom
Yeah,
is a bit peeved. That's Casper Van Dien.
yeah,
Who's reasonably good. It's not much of
yeah.
a role, but
No,
I like the fact they didn't make him a clown. I the obvious thing would have made him a bit like the Brom in the
in the
Disney
Disney film.
version,
Yeah,
but he isn't that. He isn't that. He's kind of dignified and stuff, right?
yeah. He's
Um,
only in a couple of scenes, but he kind of maintains a decent character through in those scenes. Like he's not goofing around. He's not playing really into the jealous archetype that you'd kind of expect.
no,
Like he's a bit brusque with Ichabod in this scene, but
yeah,
after that he's
it's
just
perfectly
just
fine.
two guys,
Yeah,
really.
yeah, yeah. One other notable actor in this I thought was really good was the kid playing Ichabod's assistant, Masbath,
Yes,
Mark
young
Pickering.
Lesbeth.
He was
Mm,
very good, very good. He was dignified as well, and
mm,
he sold it. His family had been killed, by the horsemen,
yes.
so he was helping. First, Ichabod's like, no, no, I
Yeah,
can provide it.
he's
But
like
then
you
he
should go home and
immediately
look after your
recruits him.
mother, and it's
Yeah.
like, my mother's already in heaven some years ago,
Yes.
and he's like, come along, young Madsmith. It's like, okay,
Yes,
yeah,
yes. Um, and one of the elements of the film is when is Ichabod keeps dreaming back about his mother. There's kind of parallels with his own childhood and
mm,
what's going on with the town, and he sees how evil people can be, things like
yeah,
that. So
uh,
that's going on. That's played by Lisa Marie, who plays his mother.
yeah. Who was
Um,
Johnny Depp's girlfriend at the time, according to
yes,
something I read.
yeah,
So
well, she
that's a
was
bit,
certainly his girlfriend when he made Mars Attacks. I know that.
yeah,
And she was
bit easy
also in
for
Ed
that.
Wood. She plays Vampira in Ed Wood. The
Mm.
act, the character Vampira, who was I can't remember her name, but she was a TV host
Uh,
who went
yeah,
into Plan 9 from Outer Space. So yeah, so there's that. I really love how much effort they've. I mean, this town looks absolutely real.
yeah.
It's
Oh, I have
squalid
no
and
doubt that this
muddy.
is like either it was built fully for this, or it was like a one of those sort of historical recreation sort
Yeah,
of places,
yeah,
and they just black and whited it up really. But it's yeah, everything is looks practical at the very least.
yeah,
Like you never get the sense that this is either a matte painting or a CG effect.
yeah. It's really cool. Also, just to mention right at the beginning, we get an uncredited cameo from Martin Landau as a
Yes,
man being pursued by the horseman.
yeah,
It was really good to see him. I mean, he was in it. He was the lead pretty much. Well, not the lead, certainly a supporting, or
mm.
one of the mains in Ed Wood as Bela Lugosi, and I believe he won an Oscar for that.
Okay,
So it's nice to see him back here. He's a great actor.
nice.
He's in some really good stuff. Is Martin Landau. So yeah, it was good to see him briefly. But it doesn't last long because the horseman's in
No,
pursuit.
horseman
Um,
gets what the horseman gets. So
yes, there was some CG in this around like when the horseman emerges and stuff like that, and obviously the
oh,
removal of his head.
oh
Really
yeah,
good.
I wasn't saying that the CG is not evident
No,
in the
no,
film,
no.
but that just in the terms of the actual sets,
Yes.
there
Oh
didn't
no,
seem to
they all
be.
looked real and fully
Mm,
formed buildings, and the insides were really interesting and a
yeah.
lot of attention. I can see why it won an Oscar for art direction. It
Mm,
makes sense. It's as lush as any other film that's won. It's as lush as say Doctor Zhivago's in sets and things like that. So yeah, it kind of makes sense. Right, so Ichabod's kind of investigating. There's
yeah.
this running theme where he doesn't really like blood, but blood keeps kind of squirting about, which
Yeah.
makes me laugh when he's doing this investigation. And he's got all these wonderful little gadgets, hasn't he? These weird glasses
Yeah,
and
they look
weird
like it's
scalpels and
all kind
things.
of steampunky. It's
Yes,
goggles that kind of extend out, and he flicks different lenses into them. And
yeah,
yeah, so he's investigating. Most of the bodies have been buried, but fortunately, well, somewhat fortunately, as he arrives, someone else gets got, and uh, this is young Masbeth's father that gets
father.
got
That's
the
why.
elder Masbeth.
Yes,
So
yes. He also
He's
quite
apparently
cri
supposed to be 10, but he's almost as tall as Johnny Depp.
Yeah, he
So,
looks about, I'd say 13, to be honest.
mm,
Yeah, but he is tall, like you say.
yeah,
He does also stay with the Van Tassels.
yeah.
Now, the main characters of the town are there's Van Tassel is the notary. There's a whole family called the Van Garretts that have been.
No, the Van Tassels are just wealthy residents. They say that they're
Oh, is he not the?
farmers.
Okay,
No, the
yes, but
notary was Michael Gough,
my mistake. Okay,
who's Hardenbrook.
and
There's
there's
also
also Richard Griffiths is
Lancaster.
the doc. I don't know that. Who's
Uh,
Lancaster?
Lancaster is the doctor. That's Ian McDiarmid.
Yes.
Then there's
I
Phillips,
thought Richard Griffiths was
magistrate.
the doctor. My
No,
mistake.
no, because that's when Ichabod exhumed all the bodies and brought them into the surgeons. Ian McDiarmid was mad at him.
Yeah.
Remember that bit?
Yes.
And
Oh no, Richard Griffiths was the magistrate.
yeah, Richard
Um,
Griffiths was the magistrate, and then Jeffrey Jones was the priest.
the pastor, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And the notary Michael Goff,
And
who
then there's
looks
also Miranda Richardson as Lady Van Tassel.
Cecil, who is stepmother, right?
Yes, stepmother to
To,
Christina Ricci.
yeah, to Katrina. Um, yeah,
Mm,
it kind of bubbles along. More
yeah.
murders happen.
There's a pretty
No,
great
well,
bit.
firstly, Ichabod doesn't believe it's supernatural at all,
Yeah.
does he?
No, he's like, no, there's no way like that could happen. Someone killed these people, and then he sees a body for itself, and
Yeah.
he
Well, he
notes
sees the
that.
Hessian, doesn't he? Doesn't he see the
Well,
Hessian?
no, first he sees the body, and it's a weird death.
Yes.
So he there's no the head is gone, like first of all, and the wound was heated enough to be cauterized, so
Yeah.
no blood has been scattered,
And then when
but
he
it's
says things
already
like that,
rotting.
when
So
when he says things like that, the town seniors are sort of saying, "The fires of hell," it's
yeah,
like that.
they all keep like jumping back on this sort of the thing, but and then someone pranks him. I think his
Yeah,
Brom
Brom
actually does
pranks him.
prank him by like almost knocking him out with a pumpkin.
Yeah, which
But
is
he hears the
reprised in the
laughter.
shots from the Disney Ichabod Crane throwing the
Yeah,
flaming pumpkin at him.
yeah.
That was kind of funny. Yeah,
Uh, but then as he's wandering through the woods, because Ichabod starts to suspect that the West Woods, which he's already been told is like
haunted or
haunted.
so. Yeah,
So he goes out there with young Masbeth and
Masbeth.
finds a witch,
Oh
real
yeah,
witch.
a really,
So
really proper old crony witch.
yeah, eyes coming out
Yes,
on stalks and a long, like scissored tongue
yeah.
that lunges at
Before
him.
before we get to that though, he does get a nod from I think it's Richard Griffiths, is it? Who says
Yes,
four
he says
people
this,
are buried.
but there's
No,
five
four people
bodies.
die, but there's five bodies, and
Mm,
so he exhumes this widow who we never meet as a
yeah,
character. She dies before all of this, and he does a postmortem and discovers she was pregnant, and
mm,
she figures, and he's the magistrate, and so that's a bit odd that he knew
yeah,
this, right? Um, However, I do like the fact he's saying things like "There's no such thing as supernatural," and then the horseman appears.
yeah.
He's proper man. But the witch does mention this. Was it Tree of the
The
Dead?
Tree of Death, yes.
Um,
Yeah, Tree of the Dead, and they go there and just sort of investigate, and they get told that this is where the horseman was when he was initially killed, was
right.
buried.
Yes.
And we do see a flashback to this where the horseman, while running away on his horse Daredevil, which gets shot and killed, unfortunately, he found two twin girls out in the woods,
Yeah.
and he sort of shushed them because he was being chased, and then one of
Chased.
them snapped a branch, and he got into
Yeah.
a big fight that eventually
Young
killed him.
girls, blonde girls, long blonde hair.
Yeah.
One snaps a branch to catch him. Really like Christopher Walken. He looks
Mm.
properly scary. He's got
Oh
sharpened
yeah,
teeth.
he's properly hamming it up every turn of the
Yeah.
time. Just every time he is the horseman, because a lot of this is Ray Park
Yeah.
is doing the fighting,
Ray
Unfortunately.
Park moves brilliantly. He
Yeah,
really looks like he knows what he's doing with swords and axes and how to fight. So it's a great choice to bring Ray Park in on this.
yeah,
His head CGI'd out. That outfit is also pretty spectacular. The sort of black outfit. It's
yeah.
almost
It's
a
like
bit like
black
a still
leather
suit,
armor.
right? With a
Yeah, it kind of has that thing. It's like very textured, like leather, I think.
Yeah, yeah, with a cape, a black
Yeah,
cape. So the Hessian does get caught, but we do see him for a fair
yeah.
bit.
They cut his head off.
No
No,
speaking parts,
no. He
right?
just kind of goes ah.
Hisses and roars, yeah, and he's deliberately
He's
sharpened his own
sharpened his
teeth
teeth.
to be more
Yes.
terrifying, and all this. But yeah, he
Yeah.
gets killed. And then doesn't Ichabod find his body but without a head?
Yeah, that he digs up his body where his sword is also planted in the ground. It's like, well, here's the Hessian.
Yeah,
I'm not sure what we can do with this information, but I suspect that whoever has the head is controlling this horseman. He
yeah.
kind of says it sarcastically. Then the horseman erupts out of the tree and runs off into the night.
Yeah, which freaks him right
Yeah,
out. um, we also then see the horseman quite brutally attack the family of the midwife and her husband and child. So, wow, that's
yeah.
pretty brutal. We don't see the child die, but
No, we
we
see
do see
like
heads lopped
he's
off
hidden
as
under
well.
the floor, and you see like the horseman is about to leave. He stops, turns around, punches through the floor, and just pulls the kid out. And the next we see he's putting something in a bag. So it's like,
Yes,
yep, he got that kid.
he's after our heads or something.
Yeah. Um. So the horseman is kind of just walking around the town at this point, back to his horse, and Brom gets in the way,
Yes.
and he
Bromley
starts.
does try and give him a go. He shoots him with a
Yeah,
musket,
he shoots
and
him
he tries
twice.
tries to
Like,
fight him, but he's the headless horseman. So
yeah.
yeah,
Ichabod does get involved in this fight, and there's a bit of like running around on the bridge
yeah,
to try and avoid him.
yeah.
I'm kind of surprised the bridge never came up because of how significant it
Important it
was in the
is,
book.
and the
But
Disney version, yeah. But
yeah,
yes,
but no,
uh,
there's a fun bit where they cross the bridge and they turn around and the horseman's gone, but they can still hear him walking towards them, and they both
yeah,
kind of slowly look up, and the horseman drops down behind them.
yes,
So
yeah. So Brom's a pretty stand-up guy, really,
yeah,
but doesn't
but he
last.
does bite it in this scene. Like that's the end of Brom.
Yeah,
So
so Depp then starts freeforming and sort of talking to Madsworth and saying, I think there's he starts saying random phrases, right? He
yeah.
says, it's a conspiracy, a plot,
So that
and
might lead to.
he
So
says,
I know
I
it's
wonder
like
if and we need to talk to,
we need to talk to Baltus Van
Paul the
Tassel
Fantastic, and then he
in
says,
the book.
I can't quite work out what's going on, and we see the page he's written, these
It just says
random
the
notes.
conspiracy leads to Baltus.
Yeah,
It's
but
like,
he hasn't
yep,
put that together, right?
yeah,
But then
yeah,
Katrina finds it, so thinks that
yeah.
Ichabod suspects the father, and actually burns some of the evidence,
Mm,
because you don't do this. He also finds he's got a magic um
mm.
chalk pattern under his bed, suggests he's been cursed, or
Yes,
something. But we do find out later
yeah.
that curse is
It's a friendly one.
it's a threat.
It's a
It's to
thing of
keep you
protection.
safe. It's a
Yeah.
protection course.
So
Spell.
Ichabod then goes to visit the notary, Michael
Yeah.
Gough, who he finds the new will of the Van Garretts, the people
Yes.
killed at the opening with what's his name, Michael Landau,
Yeah.
and it turns out they bequeathed everything to the widow on the death. Masbeth's father witnessed it. Uh, no, sorry, Masbeth's father was the one who they first informed about it. The son of
Yeah.
the Van Garretts witnessed it, and basically something to do with this child getting the inheritance was wrong. But all the town elders are aware of the child,
Right.
so
Yeah.
because it's a thing of like the elder Van Garrett had to marry, so he needed to inform the magistrate and the priest. It had to be notarized, and it had to be, and there was something else that involved the Doctor. But basically, everyone knew. But
Yeah.
everyone also knew that the Van Garretts were relations of the Van Tassels, and
Yes.
if the
Yeah,
will
but Jack
changed,
picks that up, doesn't he? He says, "So
yeah,
why didn't you tell me this?" And they said, "Well, we're all kind of related,
yeah,
one way or another, or either by marriage or blood in this small
mm,
village," which is fair, you know.
yeah. It's like
So yeah,
it's
so
difficult to find people without blood, but the Van Garretts were the main people set to inherit the if anything happened to the Van Garretts.
yes,
And then this this is what points to Baltus being there. But while I think this like that night,
yes,
Ichabod sees someone walking in the woods and follows them, and sees it's Lady Van Tassel having sex with someone,
yeah.
and it's like okay, and he
He
knows
backs away. He
she
doesn't
like
know what
cuts
to
her
say.
hand and then
Wipes it on the man's
wipes it on the
back.
guy
We don't
back.
see the man. We only see the
No.
back of his head. Um, so yeah, there's that. So there's something sketchy going on there.
Mm.
And in fact, he comes to when he comes to talk to her about something. She's got her hand wrapped up, and she says after a bit of the call, haven't you asked about how my hand is?" And
Yeah,
then he says, "She said, I know you saw me. You know,
yeah. She's
please."
very kind of open about it, but says, don't tell my husband. He has a rage in him."
Yes.
Um, and
Um,
then the husband walks in and says, "Oh, we found the notary who's hung himself."
right.
It's like, oh,
Yes.
okay.
Yeah, so everyone's there's deaths left, right, and
Yes.
centre.
Here's where we get like the quick fire death scene because it turns out that he says to Ichabod, it's like, you should probably leave town because the priest thinks you're now doing this,
Right.
and has organized like a meeting to get to the bottom of it, basically.
Yes.
So they're with the implication they're going to hunt down Ichabod and kill him.
Yeah,
Uh,
and Ichabod also thinks Katrina's been lying to him and
yeah,
possibly cursing him. So he realizes
yeah. He finds the pentagram. Is like, yeah,
yeah,
we
she
we
gives him a
can,
little book earlier, doesn't
yeah,
she, about spells and stuff.
yeah,
Should have mentioned, we haven't already mentioned, Ichabod keeps dreaming about his mother, who's a free spirit, a bit of a white witch from the, she
yeah.
does, and her husband's a strict man, and it goes really
And then at
badly,
the church, and
frankly.
yeah. You
Um,
do see eventually that Ichabod also has these like scars on his hands, lots of
yes,
pinpricks.
yes,
And turns out that is because he found his dad's torture room, and
yeah,
his
where
mum
his
was in
mum
an Iron Maiden,
maiden, and he
and he
sat on a
flinched
seat.
backwards and fell backwards onto a spiked seat.
Yeah, with his hand. Yeah, it's all quite horrible, which kind of explains why he wants to not believe in anything supernatural
Mm,
because it's kind
that
of
might have made that
it
reveal.
reminds him of
The
things. Yeah.
Also explains his blood phobia because the
Yes.
everything spilled out when the Iron Maiden opened, and will
Yeah.
leave like it's quite graphic.
Yes.
But
Um,
yeah, so they're at the church meeting happens. While in preparation for the meeting, the Lady Van Tassel goes out to pick some flowers,
yes.
and Baltus goes to like encourage her to hurry up because they're gonna miss it. And he sees the horseman run for her, like he bursts out of the
Yeah.
woods and
So
charges
he
at the
runs
wife.
off
Yeah,
to the meeting and sort of says, "He just killed my wife."
yeah,
And they all run into the church, and then, but the horseman will not go past, will not go into hallowed ground.
no.
And Ichabod's
And
like,
this,
"Oh, we're safe here then,"
yeah.
Oh,
And people start shooting out the windows, but it's not doesn't do anything. The horseman's just kind of riding around.
yeah, just getting more and
And
more annoyed.
this and then the village doctor goes to the priest is like, we should tell people. We need to let people know what happened,
Yeah,
just so we're not guilty, so we're not the ones doing this. And then the priest, who uh rips a crucifix off like a stand, and clubs the guy in the head with it, and
yes,
it
it goes
kills him.
mad. It goes
And the
mad.
guy who was holding a gun, the gun fires and it kills the priest.
Yes,
And then
just
Michael Gambon runs up to like the pulpit and is like, people, we need to stop. We need to stop panicking." And a stake comes through the window, spears him,
yeah,
and the horseman's holding a rope connected to it, so he just starts dragging him out.
yeah. So the horseman's
Whoa,
improvised,
so
right?
much happened in this in
Yeah,
like five
yeah.
seconds.
the horseman improvised, just found a wooden stake and a chain and just
yeah,
threw it through the window, got him, man, dragged him to the
to
side,
the edge of
to the
the
edge of this
and
hollow
it cuts
ground,
his half.
enough to cut his head off, right? Yeah. So
Yeah,
it's mad. It's mad, this. Um, but Depp, like I said, was leaving town because he thought, everything was going against him. But then
yeah,
he realised, and thought Katrina had cursed him and was
yeah.
probably somehow involved because she'd burned the evidence.
Mm.
But then he all put it together in his head when he saw the picture of the charm was a protective one rather than a
No,
curse.
that happens later because at the
Oh,
end
my
of this
mistake.
scene,
Okay.
they spot that Katrina was drawing another pentagram in the middle of the
The
church,
church.
and they're
Yes.
like, "Witch." They're like, "She's a
Yes.
witch.
Yes.
She's
Yeah.
probably the one behind this." And Ichabod, for his feelings for her, basically says, "I'm not going to investigate this any further. We're going to destroy the evidence, and I'm out."
Yes.
Like the
Oh, that's right. But then he puts it all together on the way out, right?
Yeah, he's flipping through the book on the way out and finds the symbol, and it's a protective one.
Yeah.
Uh, while
He
that's
also
happening,
he also finds out that it's he finds the body of Mary, Miranda Richardson's
yeah,
character, and does a post-mortem and looks at the hand wound on her hand. And
it's-
from that he realizes, no, this happened post-death. So
yeah.
this is not
So
the
it's
same
not
body.
Lady Van Tassel,
So
who
basically
then
it
walks
leads
into
him
the
to
room
Mary, right?
with Katrina
Yes.
and knocks her out.
And explains the plot as well.
Yeah, explains the whole conspiracy. This has been a long running plan of hers, having gone from because she was originally ousted from her family home. Her last name
Yes.
is Archer.
Yeah.
This is something we skipped over, but there's a bit where they go to the old Van Tassel home, which is now just kind of a wreck.
Yeah.
And they're in the back of the fireplace. There's an archer,
Picture of
like
an archer. Yeah.
bas relief sort of thing,
Yes. So
and
she's from
they
this
don't know
older
what it is.
family that got cast out
Mm,
because in favour of the Van Tassel by the Van Garretts in favour of the Van
yeah,
Tassels. So she's been plotting revenge for years. She was also the little her and her sister were
the
the
girl
little
that saw the
girls.
Hessian and broke the
Yeah.
branch.
And we find out her sister is the witch,
Yes.
the demented witch. Um,
Yeah. Who she has also killed in the
Yeah.
background. Like she,
Well, then she goes through how she did it all. Basically, says,
yeah,
I use sex in this case and I use greed in this case.
yeah,
My sister was going mad, so I chopped her head off.
yeah.
Basically, she's pledged herself to Satan and she's gone and removed the headless horseman's, well, the head of the
She
Hessian.
always had the horseman's
Oh,
head,
did
but
she?
now
I
was
thought
the
she
time when
deliberately removed it.
yeah. So she needed the horseman. She was basically using the horseman as a hitman,
Yeah,
but she
it was
didn't need
kind
him
of
until that point.
yeah,
So
yes. We've seen a few horror films like is there a Jason that's like,
I
oh
think
no,
one of the Jasons does
Frankenstein.
that.
One of the Frankensteins has, well, several of the Frankenstein films has someone getting the monsters to do bad things. It's kind of like that vibe, right? It's kind of
Yeah.
that one. Um,
Mm,
so we realise Mary is behind it all,
mm.
and she then says, I've got the last one left, which is Katrina."
Yeah, because
Right?
she's now set to inherit all of the Van Garrett and the Van Tassel money,
Yeah,
uh, and yeah, basically all their legacy.
yeah.
And
So
she
Ichabod
basically she
takes
calls the
Mazbath.
horseman. Yeah,
Yes. Sorry, go on.
I was gonna say she takes the horseman's skull and calls on him to kill Katrina, and then it's basically a massive chase between Mazbath, and Katrina, and the horseman back to run away, pretty much.
Yes. And then we get one shot of Ichabod accidentally landing on the
Yeah, he
horseman's
falls
horse
on Daredevil.
backwards.
So
Again, a
yeah,
reference to Disney. That's kind of fun.
mm,
So
yeah.
um, Ichabod does get the Hessian skull
Well,
and
yeah. So they end up at the tree.
the tree.
Ichabod kind of gets knocked out for a moment.
Yes.
And Lady Van Tassel grabs Katrina and is like, "Here, Hessian, here, have him, have her." And Ichabod then tackles her off her horse and is able to get the skull,
And give it to
which he
the
then
Hessian.
throws to the Hessian,
Yeah.
who's ready for it, and puts it back on, and we get Christopher Lee back. So,
Yeah. Well, I love the shot of the Hessian. He lets Katrina go because he's no longer bound to the witch, but
mm,
he grabs the witch and
yeah,
what does it just Ichabod give him? I can't remember, but he basically has the witch who's semi-conscious
yeah.
across the saddle and he starts to head back towards hell. She wakes up just before and realizes what's going on.
And then he kisses her, and it's
Yeah,
like
kiss
tears
her.
up her mouth. I presume he's
Yeah,
bit off her
it's
tongue.
all her teeth,
So,
and then they go back to hell. They go into hell,
yeah.
so he's taken
All
her
that's
again.
left of her is her hand hanging out of the tree of the
Oh
dead.
yes, um, yes. So Ichabod takes Katrina and that Masbeth
Yeah.
back to New York.
And
Um,
makes a New York reference from what I gather.
yes, from
So,
well, yeah, the song New York. There, he says the what's it? The what's it's
the
up at
Bronx is in
what's
the
it up?
south,
Bronx
is
is
up
up
in
and
the.
the battery's down.
Yeah.
As he walks in. Yeah, great film.
Yeah,
Really
fun
enjoyed
one.
this film. It really fires along. Um, the only thing about a rewatch is you know who did it all. It's
Yeah,
not the first
that's the
watch is the fun
downside.
watch, right? The
I
first
couldn't
watch.
remember how she did it, so that was kind of neat
Yes,
to re
I'd
re
forgotten the witch. I'd forgotten the whole witch thing.
Yeah,
That's like, oh, that, yeah, yeah. But you can kind of see it was her. That they made it
yeah.
a bit too
And also
obvious.
she was doing the Queenie voice for
Yeah,
it.
that don't help.
So
Queenie from
yeah,
Blackadder.
Queenie from Blackadder.
Yeah.
Uh,
So yeah, really enjoyed this.
mm.
Got any final thoughts before we score?
No, this kind of makes me want to watch the Sleepy Hollow TV show though,
I really like
which I,
that
from what I
too.
gather, is completely mental.
Oh, it's
So
bonkers.
mm,
That's I think it's on Disney Plus or it's on a streaming service. I watched
yeah,
I think the first two seasons. Really enjoyed it. Really
okay,
enjoyed it. It
yeah,
brings in. It's a kind of I don't know Buffy in a way in that it brings
okay,
in all sorts of mythologies. Right.
yeah,
It doesn't stick to like Native American mythology or say English or British mythology, which you might
mm,
associate with Ichabod. It's also set in the modern day. Ichabod has somehow survived, been preserved. So
mm,
he is that whole comedy fish out of water thing, right? He's from
yeah,
the 1790s and he's
yeah.
in the 21st century, right? So there's all of that going on as well. And Clancy Brown turns up too. How about that?
Okay, yeah,
So he's in it a bit now and again. Not too much, but a bit, right?
okay, yeah,
So yeah, I really enjoy. I watched quite a bit of it. I didn't continue, but
mm,
just because time, really. But you know what? Big recommend. Actually, it's one of those shows hardly anyone's seen or talked about, but it is
mm,
a lot of fun. It gets sillier and sillier. I know that, but that's fine, right? That's fine.
mm,
But yeah, okay. One last thing I'll say is just want to repeat how good the art direction is. The look of this place is fantastic. There's smoke coming out of the chimneys, right? There's
yeah,
it's a proper cold, sort of New Englandy kind of atmosphere. I
mm,
really, really enjoyed this one. Um, I thought it was my favourite Tim Burton outside the Batman's, but now I've had a
mm,
think. No, no, there's ones I prefer, but this is close. And
mm,
this is a classic as far as I'm concerned, a Tim Burton classic. But he's got, I guess, I'd say about six or maybe seven films that are about that. He's got a wonderful set, but they're it's patchy. Certainly towards the end of his career, it's way more patchy. It goes
mm,
good, bad, and just too much. Things like that. But yeah, this is really good. Okay,
mm.
let's get to scoring. Shall I score first? Do you want to score first?
Yeah, you go ahead.
I'll give it an 4.5 out of
Yeah,
5.
yeah,
Actually,
I'd give this a 9.
yeah,
So,
it's really close to a 10, but it's
mm,
not quite there. So yeah, or a 5, I should say. If I'm screwing
mm,
that one, but yeah, really good choice. I'm glad you picked this one. It was fun to revisit. Um, we've
mm.
pretty much done all the good. Have we done all the good? We haven't done Ed Wood, have we?
Yeah, I've never seen
Um,
Ed Wood.
I'm pretty sure we
I
did
don't
Mars
think we covered
Attacks.
Mass. I don't think we have.
Oh, right, okay. We've
Yeah,
done Batman and Batman Returns.
yeah, we did
Already.
all the Batman
And I'm
films.
sure we've done Pee Wee.
Yeah, we did Pee Wee.
And we've done Sweeney Todd as well, right? Haven't we?
Yes, yes, I think we have.
But yeah, yeah. And Beetlejuice,
Yeah, we
Beetlejuice.
definitely did Beetlejuice. We haven't done any of the later ones, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Nah,
I think
not
we did
doing
Alice
that.
in Wonderland.
I don't remember us doing it, but we might have. It's
Yeah,
not very good though. I don't
yeah.
really like it. Yeah.
And I guess we'll come to Dumbo at some point. So.
Yeah, maybe not.
Okay.
Right. All right then. Let's wind up there. So, bye from
Okay.
me.
Bye.